Good evening, everybody. As we can see, electric sales are growing rapidly, but they're really not growing rapidly enough. And that's why I'm here this evening to urge you to do everything you possibly can to find a way to get an electric vehicle into your life. And if that's something that doesn't fit for you economically, then talk to people who have the finances to do that, because it's important to have those early adopters out there who get the job started. Because look at this, there are 250 million gas-burning, obsolete cars on the road today, and only 1.2 million electric vehicles. And I can assure you, once you've had an electric vehicle, you will not want to go back to a gas-powered vehicle, because there's nothing like being able to refuel your vehicle in your garage. Your garage becomes your gas station. And that also means that we have to focus on charging solutions for people in multi-tenant dwellings, which are some of the most efficient places to live. So why own an electric car? I already talked about how it will save you time from going to the gas station. Every morning you just get up and your car is full of energy because you charge it overnight. A lot less maintenance because there are no mufflers. You don't use the brakes as much because the cars have regenerative braking that puts energy back into the battery. This is an amazing technology. All this energy that's lost is recouped by having an electric car. There's, not as complex, in most cases, no transmission. Just the parts count alone, if you research it on the internet, the parts count in an electric car versus a gas car is totally, many factors lower. So electric cars are smooth and quiet, and so they cut down on noise pollution. In fact, Tesla doesn't even have signs where all their chargers are located, because the car tells you when you need to stop and where the charger is, and it even tells you how many slots are open at the charger, so you can manage your trip. What's a big thing is we all want better air quality, and this leads to better air quality because electric cars are more efficient. So EVs convert much more energy to put on the road. That's why you're using less energy overall, and that makes a huge difference. And our power plant here in Ames is so much more efficient than an internal combustion engine, even when we're burning our garbage or burning natural gas. And in Iowa, we enjoy 40% of our energy coming from renewable energy. So at least 40% of what's going into your car is electric. And if you're charging at night, who knows, maybe 100% of it is going to be renewable energy when the wind turbines are running at night and demand is low overall. So it's these things that we can take advantage of what's going on with wind power here in the state of Iowa to power our electric cars. And then, of course, if you happen to have solar panels, then you can be charging during the day when you've got sunshine, if you need to charge up during the day right off your own power right at your house. So a lot of people are concerned about what a blast of electric cars into the market is going to do to our utility infrastructure. And as it turns out, we have plenty of infrastructure. On this graph, the peak there is what Ames Electric Services delivers in peak in the summertime. And this is a day cycle thing here. So at night, you have this trough where use is low. And that's when you're sleeping and your car is parked in the garage and you set your car to charge at that time. So we've got plenty of capacity to flatten that curve out and charge our electric vehicles and do it much more sustainably, much more cleanly, and much more efficiently. So that's something that we're really excited about. In the future, there's technology coming where the utility will be able to pull power back from your electric car. So it takes prime time power to a whole new level by being able to not just turn off your air conditioner for 10 minutes, but by being able to actually pull power back from your car as an energy store. And we, the ratepayers, don't have to maintain that. You maintain it in your car. So there are a lot of myths circulating about EVs, and there are a lot of things that are holding people back from getting them. And so if you think EVs are slow, you're wrong. Just go on YouTube and check out the drag racing videos where they're beating 750 horsepower. Hemi Cudas are falling to Teslas left and right on the drag strip. And then it's, they don't have enough range. We're installing more charging infrastructure. There's, a lot of times you can charge at destination charging at hotels and places now. A lot of electric cars, now the benchmark is really 200 miles of range as a minimum, with Tesla having cars up to 375 miles of electric range. A lot of people think that EVs are too expensive. There are some really good deals to be had right now on Chevrolet Bolts. That's a fully electric vehicle. They've just released a 2020 version that has over 259 miles of range. It's a very competitive car, and it's since it's having a kind of a rough time in the marketplace and the dealers don't promote it as much, there are great discounts on it. So EVs are very safe cars. If you look at the transportation safety data, some of the top rated, most safe cars are electric cars on that list. A lot of them happen to be Teslas. Again, that's kind of how I migrated there. It just eventually I got pulled away from Chevy and BMW and Toyota into it. And then if you're considering an electric car, you want to look at resale values and used cars and things. So non-Tesla vehicles tend to have some really good deals on those. And one of the great things you can do with them is if you have a 2-car household, you can have that ICE car for your long trips and do your daily commuting in your electric car and have plenty of range. Even with an older electric car with less range, even a car with as low as 85 or 100-mile range can be a very practical around-town car for a very low cost and keep that gas car in the garage as much as possible. So getting an EV, as I was talking about, they're great for around town. There's so many great resources on the internet for learning about electric cars. There's clubs, groups. We have our event at the Eco Fair, which we've already talked about. And one of the things you do want to do is plan for charging. So if you are fortunate to have off-street parking in a garage, the best way to find out what it's going to cost for you to set up charging there is to have one of our friendly local electricians come out and give you an estimate as to what it'll cost to set up a plug in your garage to charge. To be honest with you, you can actually charge off a regular household outlet in your garage if you're just driving around town. I really don't need to have the big dryer plug that I installed in my garage. Yes, it's nice to have, but you sleep 8 hours a day. You may be home 12 or 14 hours a day from the time you get home from work to the time you go back to work or go out and out. And that'll pretty much, you can get by off charging off a regular outlet. So thank you very much for your attention. I'll be back there in the corner and happy to answer your questions. And thank you for coming out tonight. And please think about getting an EV and research it and find a way to do it, because it's one of the biggest energy use sectors we have out there. And your appliances that are using too much electricity aren't spewing carbon dioxide and stuff into the atmosphere as you go along like your car does. Thank you.